Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Now, Chip and I have been to a lot of Big Blue Madnesses over the years, probably more than Chip even wanted to. But we've seen a lot of good stuff, and we decided to rank the top 10 moments of the modern era of Big Blue Madness. It goes back to the 80s, but it really started becoming a thing in the 90s. So you ready to go?
I'm ready to go,
We will start at number 10. Let's go for it. Number 10, Billy Gillispie debuts. Now, it's funny in hindsight, but at the time, this was a huge moment. They dropped the curtain, and there was the cheese ball Billy at number 10. We didn't know what was to come, but I remember this crowd, Chip, being really excited.
If they had known what was to come, I believe they might have kept that curtain closed, man. I think you got to erase any memory of Billy Gillispie. If you're a Cat fan, you got to try to erase.
But do you remember how excited people were?
People were pumped.
Because look right here. Look how excited they all are.
All because he beat Rick in Rupp Arena.
That's exactly right. I had to put it in there, even though in hindsight it might be the lowest moment ever. All right, let's go to number 9. All right, number 9 was, of course, the light show. They've started doing this every year, but I remember the first time they did it. They made the floor into like a camera, and they put all the teams on there, and I thought it was just a very cool thing, and it showed that technologically they were moving it to another level.
Yeah, that's when it went from just, okay, we're going to bring the players out and introduce everybody, and everybody scream and holler, into a real show. I mean, it brought that, the lighting effect. So it became really a show. I think that really added to that. Now
this will be one of these things that in 10 years everybody will laugh how blown away we were, but at the time, seeing the floor as a screen was amazing. All right, so number 8. Now, number 8 was, of course, Drake. Now, people were so excited Drake was coming, Jim. And then we didn't realize he was going to be one of the players. He warmed up with them. He sat in the meetings. He wore the uniform. Was that cool, Chip, or was it lame?
I thought it was pretty cool. We found out that Drake cannot play basketball.
Was that airball cool that he shot?
That was a bad-looking shot, man. I don't know how you can be a basketball aficionado and not make a basic jump shot.
I was sitting right under the goal when he shot that airball, and I remember thinking, this is going to go viral, and it did. Oh, poor Drake.
He was embarrassed, you could tell.
He was, but then he got it back. All right, number 7. Now, this was many years ago, 1995, I believe. Walter McCarty and Tony Delk as Catman and Robin. Do you remember this?
I wasn't at that one. I think this is underrated. I mean, that was a pretty cool concept.
But the costumes are not really. It's just a.
The concept was good. The costumes were kind of lame, but I like the idea.
This was still when it was in Memorial, so it was a lot. But Catman and Robin, McCarty and Delk, do you think players would do that now? Or
no, they would think it was totally corny.
They would think it was totally corny. None of them would dress as Robin. But at the time, I thought that was very good. I like that at number 7. All right, number 6, this was a cool moment. The 100th anniversary of UK basketball, and they brought out a cake, and Bill Kitely popped out of it. Bill Kitely, a legend, celebrating the 100th year. It was very cool, and it was good to see him get. This is when people started really recognizing what a legend of UK basketball he was.
Yeah, and I brought my dad to a game one time, and my dad was in awe. I mean, forget the game. He got to shake Mr. Wildcat's hand, and he was in awe. People loved this guy.
People all wondered, like the gobbledygooker in wrestling, who was going to be in the cake. Kitely was perfect for it. Now, this one I know, number 5, is special to you because you were in school. Big Boo Madness in 1992.
Yeah, the Monster Mash, Jamal Mashburn. I mean, this was kind of the one that we had arrived. I mean, the year after the Duke game, they were expected to be a great team, went to the Final Four. And then this was kind of, the theme. We talked about this earlier. This is one of the first times they went with like a theme for the whole event.
And the whole Monster Mash thing was going on. And so all the people dressed up in Halloween costumes, I really liked it. And then they really played off the Monster Mash theme. You're right. This is the one where they finally said, let's make it a show and not just a practice. All right, number 4. Maybe the hardest I've ever cheered when Enes Kanter came out as the Undercanter. They played the dong. He walked out. He was a huge Undertaker fan, and the place went wild. I don't know that I've ever screamed this loud before.
This is by far the cool. I mean, how cool does he look walking out with that hat? I mean, it might not be the best, but without a doubt, it is the coolest moment.
No doubt. And the funny thing was, half the crowd had no idea what this was.
No.
Like they didn't know who the Undertaker was. But for those of us that did, and I'm not sure, I heard him say once, it may be the happiest he ever was.
The fact that he never played too kind of adds to the mystique of it.
Completely agree with you. Number 3, this is a big one. Rick Pitino. This was when Rick was liked here and when he was cool. He came out on a Harley Davidson, and at the time, I don't think many people were cooler than Rick Pitino. Now, it's not like that now in Lexington, but this was his peak moment.
Rick was innovative. You give it to him. I mean, he was ahead of the curve with a lot of his ideas, with Big Blue Madness, with promoting the program. Say what you want. I know Cat fans hate him right now, but he did a lot from a mark. That Cal has
But you remember how the place exploded when this happened.
Nuts.
Unbelievable. All right, number 2, you can't go to Big Blue Madness and not talk about Matthew Mitchell dancing. It's become the big part. And this was the one when he did the Dougie. And everybody went crazy. The girl I was dating at the time, Chip, you remember her, she fell in love with Matthew Mitchell there, and I thought might leave me for him at that moment.
Oh, the ladies love guys who can dance. And you look at Matthew Mitchell just standing on, you wouldn't expect moves like that. I mean, the dude can really dance. I mean, I couldn't come close. I mean, I'm not a great dancer. I can't get out there and do that.
And it was the Dougie when it was popular.
And he did it perfectly.
Yes, he did it great. And finally, number 1, the biggest moment, you already knew what this was going to be, the John Wall dance. There's never been, Rupp Arena may have never been louder than right here. Cal's there, that he comes out and does this, and it becomes a phenomenon.
A national dance. Again, we talked about his charisma, overlooked charisma. That became, like you said, everybody was doing the job.
Magic Johnson did it, yeah. LeBron James.
Grandmas and grandpas
Everybody.
were doing
We one time put a compilation of all the videos of people who sent us big John Wall dancing clips, and it was crazy. I don't think I mean it. I don't think I've ever heard a louder ovation in Rupp.
It was pretty cool.
It was. So that is our number 1. And as we can see, there were a lot of stuff we could have had that we didn't put in. There was when they dressed as wrestlers, but we just didn't have video of it. But very cool stuff. Thanks for the producers putting that together. When we come back, we'll talk more about the news of the day on Hey Kentucky. I stumbled.